The alien girl sat in the cold, dark chamber, her hands trembling, her heart pounding. She did not understand the language of these towering creatures who had taken her from her home. She did not know why they had given her to this human soldier, as if she were nothing more than a thing to be traded. Her mind raced with images of the stories she had been told of humans, the devourers, the ones who conquered, the ones who swallowed entire worlds in their hunger. She had heard of their cruel ways, their insatiable appetites. She knew what they did to those they captured. And now she was in the hands of one, her body tense, her eyes wide, her breath shallow. The soldier stood in front of her, his gaze unreadable, his stance casual, but alert. He seemed to be assessing her. She watched him with wary eyes, waiting for the moment he would lunge. She could not fight back. She had no strength left from the long journey in the cold metallic prison she had been confined to. She had been given no food, no water, nothing but the promise of an unknown fate. Now she was here in this strange room with this strange creature, waiting for the moment he would decide to consume her. He stepped closer, and she flinched, her instincts screaming at her to flee, but there was nowhere to go. He did not attack, he simply watched, then reached out and placed something on the ground in front of her. She hesitated, looking at it suspiciously. Was a tray, and on it was food, unfamiliar but fragrant. Her stomach twisted with hunger, but she did not trust it. Was this a trick, a way to make her lower her guard before he struck? She had seen predators do this before, feigning kindness before they killed. He backed away, giving her space. His voice was calm, though she did not understand his words. She remained still, staring at the food, at him. At the door, she had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. If she was to be eaten, then she would fight until the end. But the hunger gnawed at her, her body weakened. She reached for the food, hesitantly watching him as she did. He did not move, did not stop her. She took a small bite, then another. The flavors strange, but not unpleasant. She swallowed and waited for the poison, for the pain, for the trap to spring, but nothing happened. The soldier sighed, running a hand through his hair, then sat down across from her, his expression unreadable. She did not know what he wanted, why he was watching her, why he had not yet done what she expected. Perhaps he was waiting for something, waiting for her to weaken further, waiting for the right moment. She forced herself to eat slowly, not knowing when she would be fed again. If at all, he did not seem to mind. He simply observed. Then, after a moment, he spoke again, more words she could not understand, but his tone was not harsh, not threatening. Time passed, and she remained in his custody. Each day he brought her food, each day he spoke, though she did not comprehend his language. His voice grew familiar. He did not chain her, did not harm her, did not treat her as she had feared. Was this another tactic to lull her into a false sense of security? She did not know, but she watched him, always waiting for the moment the truth would be revealed. One day she awoke to find him gone. For the first time since she had arrived, he was not in the room. He was not watching her. The door was slightly open. Her chance to escape had come. She moved quickly, her heart pounding, her legs unsteady as she stepped out into the unknown halls. They stretched endlessly, cold metal walls, blinking lights, strange sounds. She did not know where to go. She only knew she had to get away before he returned, before he realized she was missing. She ran, footsteps light, her breath rapid, her body still weak from the lack of sustenance. She had no idea where she was going, but forward was the only choice. She turned a corner and stopped, her eyes widening. Before her stood another human, clad in the same strange armor as the one who had held her. She froze, waiting for the attack, waiting for the alarm to sound, but instead he simply looked at her, then tilted his head as if considering something. A voice called from behind her. She turned. Her captor had found her. His expression was not one of anger, not of violence, but something else, something softer, something she did not understand. He raised his hands, palms open, speaking in that unfamiliar language. The other human glanced between them, then nodded before stepping aside. She hesitated, confused. Was this a test? Was this the moment she would be seized? But no hands reached for her, no restraints were forced upon her. Her captor gestured toward the hallway, toward freedom. He was letting her go. She did not understand why, but she did not waste the chance. She stepped past him, slow at first, then faster, until she was running, her feet pounding against the floor, her breath ragged as she pushed herself forward toward whatever lay beyond this place. She did not stop until she saw the vastness of space beyond a window, stars stretching endlessly. She had no idea where she was, no idea how to escape, but she was free for now, and that was enough.